Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Benny, and we are going to be playing a mortar deck that I cooked up. This is a little bit of a secret here. You know, I am holding on to a secret. I cooked this deck up. It's very similar to a deck that I played a couple seasons ago to get my top 1000 finish, and I really do like this deck. So let's get this win here, as he's going to play a Royal Delivery right off the start. And he's also got Berserker, so I'm terrified of whatever this deck could be here. I'm not even going to pretend to try to guess what it is. I'm sure you guys are watching this right now and thinking, Benny, I know exactly what this is, you bozo. How do you not know? I don't know. Honestly, I don't memorize the decks that are in the meta, but he has the Berserker, and the one thing about this deck is you really want to let your Dart Goblin fly. So what I mean by that is you want to try to cycle that as much as you can. Okay, we're up against Drill. I can live with that. I'm going to go ahead and Skeleton King, because the Skeleton King is a great counter to the Drill, although the Bomber will get a little bit of damage. So that was a little bit depressing, but now we can go for our Mortar here and have a decent counter push. When I'm up against Drill, though, I will say I like to play opposite lane as much as possible. I don't like to play the same lane as my opponent is, so that's one thing that, you know, we're going to kind of try to change up here. But we can pressure with our Berserker here decently nice, I think. If it wants to, like, why would my Mortar do that? Why would my Mortar lock on to the one thing I didn't want it to lock on to? That was kind of crazy, but we will get the Mortar lock here. I don't think we're going to get a ton out of that. I don't think it's really worth over defending against that delivery there. And then I'm just going to keep throwing my Skeleton Barrels into the opposite lane here, and then we'll kind of figure out what we want to do from there. I think he's at his Evo Snowball, so I have to... Okay, actually, he's not at his Evo Snowball. I don't even know why. I think I maybe have schizophrenia or something, because he definitely was not at his Evo Snowball, but he is going to be at his Evo Snowball now, so I have to be very smart about how I play with that. Now he's gonna play the defensive cannon, so honestly I'm gonna go for my Mortar here. It's gonna lock onto the cannon, and then if he goes for that Bomber, I think that's okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and start my Skeleton King in the back here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and play my Dart Goblin here, and then we can just Berserker right here, and let's wait a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and Barbell. You're not catching me with that. The Berserker did get on the tower, so that's a little bit of damage, but that's okay. We have actually a really good push going on that left side, and then I'm going to go for my Skeleton Barrel on the right side, because the cannon's going to be busy, and it's not going to be able to stop the Skeleton Barrel from getting on the tower, so that's going to be huge damage for us there. And then I'm going to go for a bit of a risky play here, but we're going to go for the Dart Goblin at the bridge, and we catch the Bomber at least, so I can definitely live with that. And we have a very, very good damage lead here. But realistically, when you're playing against Drill, you have to be so incredibly careful, because, you know, Goblin Drill, like, as we get to closer to double Elixir, he can completely just stop me from getting any and all damage. Now, let's go ahead, let's play the Skeleton Barrel on this side, and then I've got my Skeleton King. I'm going to go for the really high Dart Goblin here. Every time he has to use that cannon, he stops himself from being able to use anything to stop my Skeleton Barrel from getting on the tower. Then I'm going to go ahead and just Fireball on that Bomber, because it's kind of annoying. We do get the Dart Goblin and the Berserker on the left side. That's going to be great damage, and he does have to play the Royal Delivery, and now we have great damage on both sides, and he messes up that cannon. Dart Goblin is getting crazy value here. It is absolutely unstoppable. Dart Goggins is going crazy, and this guy is going to give up here, so we're going to get the win. So let's give him a good game. Let's give him a good luck, and let's go on. Alright, we are on to the next matchup, and one thing that I honestly love about this deck as well is you don't have to use heroes with it. You know, there isn't actually a spot that you need a hero in this deck. I know it's kind of similar to the current deck that dominates with Hero Knight and Musketeer, but realistically you have absolutely zero need to have a hero to play this deck, and I really love that about this deck, because honestly heroes are annoying, and honestly I don't want you guys to spend money on a hero card to play a certain deck that's really good right now, and then, you know, I get nerfed the next season, because all of them are inevitably going to get nerfed at some point, and you know, and then it's just like a waste of money, especially, you know, like, that sucks. That's not fun at all. I am in trouble here. Okay, let's go ahead, let's play the Berserker here, and then I'm just gonna trust that my Fireball is enough for that balloon. I actually don't... Ooh, it's definitely not okay. I shouldn't have trusted. I was hoping, you know, sometimes I get that interaction right, but we didn't get it there. But that's okay. Honestly, I felt like it wasn't worth necessarily over defending there. I'm gonna go ahead and cycle the Skeleton Barrel though, and then we'll see what he plays. If he plays his Bowler, he's probably just gonna Bar Barrel, but whenever I see his Bowler come out, okay, that's also cool. I'll take that damage any day of the week, but when I see that Bowler, I usually like to really try to switch lanes up. However, if I play an offensive Mortar and he plays the Bowler, I'm not going to do that. as we have a beautiful voice crack. Now I'll play my minions, I guess, but I have to hold on to my Dart Goblin just because I need that to defend against his balloon push that's going to come out, unless I can cycle quick enough. One thing I could do is I could go for my Dart Goblin here. He's going to go for the Hero Knight, so that means he's not going to go for that balloon quite yet. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Skeleton Barrel because he shouldn't have a big spell. So we should be able to get that Skeleton Barrel onto the tower, which would be amazing. And then I'm not going to play anything more. That's really good damage, and I'm going to kind of just leave it at that. And then the baby dragon's coming in. I think we can like completely miss our pull, but that's okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the mortar here. And then he's going to go for the bowler. Let's just start the Skeleton King in the back. Let's slow roll this a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and fireball here and get some good value onto the bowler as well as the inferno, and we'll take out the bowler, which is actually really quite important. And then he's going to go for the freeze, so I'm just going to get the minions down. How is that fully charged up? That's kind of crazy. But that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and just cycle my Skeleton Barrel here, and then let's go ahead and let's just play the Berserker there to pull that Evo Inferno Dragon, which is probably the most annoying card in the world in my opinion. And then I'm going to cycle my Bar Barrel there just to get some of that going. He's going to go for the balloon and the inferno. I'm going to hold off, wait for him to play that freeze maybe, and then I'm going to go ahead and just fireball onto all of that. And that way, because we waited for him to play his freeze, we're able to get a lot more value out of that play there. And then I'm just going to start the Skeleton King in the back here. And he has to use quite a bit of elixir each time to stop us from getting any and all chip damage there, which is really good. However, the only thing is we have so much damage there on that right side that he's not going to really worry about defending that left side as much and realistically, you know, we need to play 2 lanes against this guy. It's going to be very hard to play same lane against him. Now, Dark Goblin will take out that Inferno Dragon, and we've got this Evo Skeleton Barrel. I'm hoping we can get some damage on the tower. We do. Now I need to be ready to defend against a balloon on this side here, because he's definitely going to go for one. Kind of a missed opportunity that he didn't, honestly. Let's go ahead, let's get the Evo Mortar down here, and then let's wait and see what he's going to play. He's going to play the balloon. I don't really know why he would do that. I would have played my bowler if I was him. Dark Goblin will get some good value here. He's probably going to go for a freeze in a second here, so let's just be ready for that. Okay, he's not going to get the freeze off. I'm just going to go ahead and fireball here. I don't even know if we're going to wow, that was the worst fireball known to man. Okay, we're going to have to do some crazy defending here. Let's get this Skeleton Barrel down, and then let's go ahead and let's just get the Skeleton King here. And then I'm going to have to fireball right here first, and then there's the freeze. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, hold up. We got to get the minions down there, and then they're going to help us defend that balloon. That was scary there. That could have been really bad. Let's go for an aggressive Dark Goblin here, just to keep the pressure up, and then let's go for the fireball on the tower, and we are in the range of being able to get the win here. Let's just get some minions down. Let's get that balloon there to pull, and then we can play a Skeleton Barrel just to cycle, and that's going to be a nice win for us. So let's give him a good game, and then let's go ahead and fireball his tower, and then we'll give him a good luck for his next matchup. Alright, you guys, we're on to the next matchup. Let's go ahead and cycle that Skeleton Barrel there, and then we'll figure things out as we go. He's going to play the Skeleton King, so I'm just going to go ahead and play mine as well. Get a little bit of chip damage there and charge up our Skeleton King ability in combination with him charging his up. So, you know, we have a little bit of a Skeleton King showdown here. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the Dark Goblin right here just to snipe those minions and help us take them out, and then he's going to play his arrows. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Berserker here. We can use our Bar Barrel if we need to. Kind of a bad Skeleton King ability in my opinion, because it's really easy for us to just Bar Barrel and take all of that out, and then I'll play my Skeleton Barrel there because we might as well. We'll have a nice little counter push, and I'm going to defensive mortar here. In a mortar versus mortar matchup, I think that, you know, having that defensive mortar down is going to be very, very important 90% of the time. However, I honestly find that, you know, mortar versus mortar matchups with this deck specifically can sometimes be a little bit difficult. Depending on what you're up against. If your opponent is using the Rascals version, I find it's very difficult to defend. However, he's definitely not using that, so we're good. I think this guy is going to have vines in his deck, so we do need to be kind of ready for that surprise. Let's go ahead, let's just play the Skeleton King. I'm going to go ahead and actually play my minions here, and then I'm going to Bar Barrel and take all of that out, and then we will defend. We are going to take a little bit of damage, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and play my Evo Skeleton Barrel here, just because I think we can get that onto the tower here, or at least one of the barrels. Ooh, that was a really good mortar there to stop that from happening, but we do get some skeleton hits onto the tower. That Berserker is going to go down because of the minions, so that Berserker is a little bit of a waste. Honestly, maybe I should have just allowed his mortar to potentially get... Ooh, okay, I'm happy with that. We got one hit out of the Berserker. I'm a happy camper, man. That is going to be worth it for me any day of the week. Now, let me think here. If he has arrows, actually, there's no way that he's running vines. So that's kind of one thing. Like, I would be really surprised if he's running another spell with arrows. He's going to go Evo Witch into the opposite lane. I'm just going to cycle here really quickly. And then let's go ahead. Let's get the minions down on this side. There's the arrows, so I'm okay with that. We can go ahead and Fireball right there. And then actually I'm just going to go ahead and Barb Barrel as well. And then we can get the Dark Goblin down there to help kind of defend. And then let's go ahead, let's get the Skeleton King down here. He's probably going to pop that ability, so let's go ahead, let's get the Berserker down here. And then we will take some skeleton damage there, but we'll defend all of that decently well. We can go for the Skeleton Barrel on this side. Let's go ahead and play the Evo Mortar now. And then we can get our Dark Goblin down in a second. Let's go ahead, let's play that Dark Goblin. We've got everything right there. We will take out the one minion, but I don't think we're going to get a lock on the tower. Oh, actually, okay, we are going to get the lock on the tower. That's massive. That's going to be really huge for our damage there. I'm going to just Skeleton King right there, and then we'll take care of that Witch. He's going to play a second Witch there, which is kind of crazy. Let me think here. What do I want to do? Let's just wait a second, then I'm going to play the Barb Barrel. Then let's go ahead, and now let's Fireball on this side. I bet you guys thought I forgot about that side. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the Skeleton King right there, just to keep that Dark Goblin alive a little bit longer, to force him to use more to defend. I'm going to go ahead and just play the defensive Mortar now, and then let me think here. What do we want to do? Defensive Mortar actually should kind of take care of all of that. I'm going to go for the Skeleton Barrel. He's probably going to go for the minions on that. So let's go for the Dark Goblin in front or behind here. Let's just see if we can do that to kind of pressure this guy. He's going to play the guards. That's okay with me. Let's cycle our Berserker here. There's the Evo Mortar. Let's get the Skeleton King. And then I'm just going to go ahead and play my minions there. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the defensive Mortar here. Minions are going to get close to getting onto the tower, but we should be okay. I can just go ahead and do the Berserker there, and then we can go ahead and play our Skeleton King, and we will defend everything on that side. I'm going to go for the Evo Skeleton Barrel on this side. Let's go ahead. Let's get a Dark Goblin down, see if we can force him to use his arrows. He's going to play the Mortar right there, so I'm just going to go ahead and Fireball onto all of that, and hopefully take out that Witch so that we don't have to deal with it. Let's Barb Barrel here, and then let's go ahead. Let's just get our Skeleton King down. Let's get the Dark Goblin down low here, and then if I need to, I can go ahead and Fireball. That's crazy that he just hit me with that. Honestly, I didn't even need to do that, but you know, I think it's going to be worthwhile. I'm going to play the Evo Mortar defensively just to get that defensive position down. And then I guess we might as well go for the Skeleton King. He's going to start the Witch in the opposite lane, so we can go for a nice push here. I'm going to have my Fireball ready. Let's go. Let's pop that Skeleton King ability here. We've got the Dark Goblin down as well. Evo Mortar is going to fire onto that Witch. We're going to get the skeletons on the tower as well, because he's trying to lightning cycle, because he does have to get some damage at some point if he wants to get this win, and we're going to take the win in a close matchup. He played that very well. Let's give him a well played, and we gave him a good game as well. And then let's give him a good luck, because you know, we have the absolute respect for any Mortar player. We love to play against all of them. And let's go on into the next one. Alright guys, we're on to the last matchup of the video. Let's play that Skeleton Barrel, let that thing fly, and we'll figure it out from there. He's got a Bowler, so we're either up against Graveyard, which is gross, or we're up against Balloon, which is equally as gross. Now, let me think here, excuse me. Let's go ahead and maybe let's play, okay, I'm just going to Barb Barrel here, make sure that we don't take a Bowler hit, and then that Barbarian will tank for the minions for a second, and then I'm just going to cycle my Dark Goggins in the back here, and then he's going to go for the guards on that side. So let's go ahead, let's play the Mortar on this left side here, just to kind of force him to keep changing things up, and then Dark Goggins won't take out the guards, but you know, we'll at least get some damage onto them. He's got Executioner as well. Man, this is a little bit scary, I'm gonna be honest. The thing is, this guy, he can plug up one lane really well, but I don't think he can really defend two lanes that well, especially in single elixir. Granted, it's hard for me to pressure in single elixir very well, but I think that we could really kind of keep this guy on his toes if we wanted to. Okay, he's going to go ahead and Tornado. Let's play the Skeleton King in the back on this side. He's probably going to Bowler on that side, because that's going to be a safe bet for him. Or the Valk, that's also completely fine. And then, what do I want to do? Let's go Mortar this side, because that'll force him to play that Bowler, guaranteed. Then I can Dark Goggins right here in the middle. That should help out with the Bowler first, and then the Valk. But that forces him to play his Inferno, so I'm okay with that. Let's just go ahead, let's play the minions there, and then let's go for the Berserker. That will pull both sides, and then so that'll be good for us. I can't play my Skeleton Barrel quite yet, because he does have that Executioner, so I'm not going to play my Skeleton Barrel. What I will do is, okay, let's Skeleton King this side, because he's cycling his guards on that side. I want him to play that Bowler in the back really bad. that would be kind of the best case scenario for us. Let's go Evo Mortar this side, and then let's go ahead, let's play the Skeleton Barrel on this side as well. There's the Bowler. Let's get Dark Goblin down to help out, and then he's going to play the Inferno on that side. That's okay. We've got the Dark Goblin to take out that Bowler, and then let's go ahead, let's Barb Barrel here just to keep that Dark Goblin alive a little bit longer. And then I'm going to go ahead and play the minions. We've got a good push coming on that left side, so I'm going to go ahead and let's Fireball here onto that with the Berserker. That will kind of pressure pretty well and take out that Executioner, and then we have that Mortar Lock again on that right side, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and Barb Barrel on the left here, and then he's going to play the Bowler, and then he's going to play Inferno. Okay, so let's Barb Barrel on this side. I'm going to hold on to my minions just in case he has something like a balloon that he's going to try to get onto the tower. And then I'm going to just play the minions on that side. We can go ahead and we can play our Skeleton King on this side. That Bowler is going to get one hit on the tower. I'm okay with that though. Let's Barb Barrel here. Hopefully the Executioner doesn't lock onto the Dark Goblin. Okay, it will, because he's going to go for a pretty crazy tornado play there. Let's pop that Skeleton King ability, because that will actually help take out the Valkyrie and get it lower, so that's going to be good for us just because the skeletons do actually get a decent amount of damage on the tower. I'm going to go ahead and Skeleton Barrel onto this side here, because I don't even know if he has a great counter to my Skeleton Barrel. And then the Mortar will help take out that Valkyrie. Let's see if we get one shot. We aren't going to get the one shot on the tower. That's okay with me. And then okay, let's go ahead, let's Barb Barrel here, and that's going to go behind, so then he can't go for that tornado play. And then we've got the Berserker down on that side. He's going to go for the Executioner on or the Valkyrie, sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and play my Mortar, and then I'm going to play my minions here to help out, kind of take everything out. And then Evo Skeleton Barrel is going to go in there. He's not going to actually stop the skeletons there, so that's going to be really good damage for us. And so I'm going to go ahead and Skeleton King on this side here, and then let's go ahead, let's get the Berserker down and this on this side, and then I'm going to go for the Skeleton Barrel on this right or left side. Let's go Dark Goblin on this side with the minions to kind of help take all of that out. He has the Executioner there. I'm going to play the Berserker to keep the Mortar alive actually, because the Bowler's not going to take the Mortar out in time, so that's going to be a lock on the tower. I can just go ahead and Fireball there, and we should get the one last Mortar shot and get the win. That is going to be a win. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one.